Hello everyone, welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick Wright. Something's just gone wrong on me sound. I don't believe this. I've just gone live and the mic's dropped off again. Oh, for fuck's sake. Give a minute everyone. Then you'll be able to talk to me. Right, 1 minute. Hang on. What is going on? Why? It just makes no sense to me. Right, hang on. 1 minute. It was working. Right, can you hear me now? Right, I think that's it. Is that it? Right, hang on. Stick that on now. Yes. Right. Okay. This is good telly, isn't it? Good start. Right. It all looks okay. Right. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Good. Hello, everyone. We'll start again. Happy Saturday night. Hope you're all good. If you are new to this channel, this is Nick. This is Saturday night. It's thrown me, that is. I literally just went live and everything cut off. No reason for it. None whatsoever. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Don't know why you would after this intro. But if you haven't, drop a like on the video. It does really help us. We're going to run through the games that have kind of that have happened this week and this weekend, and then we're going to look ahead to the Brighton game. And we're going to talk a little bit about the kind of the reaction to the Man United game as well, which I'm standing on, to be quite honest. I am. I got a lot of criticism for that, which I was surprised at, because I weren't miserable. I weren't moaning or having a go at anyone. I was getting people in the comments saying, be positive, just be happy. Why can't you be happy? I literally credited almost the entire team. Said phenomenal performance, waxed lyrical about Potts, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Magassa, all those players. I just said I thought it was a missed opportunity because, well, that's why I'm not feeling the most optimistic at the minute. Do you know what I mean? They're the games that we've got coming up, and I just think it's fucking bullshit. Really, that ain't even the right one. I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. They're the ones. This is a fucking car crash so far, isn't it? But yes, that's why I'm not happy. That's why I weren't happy with the point. That's why because look at the mentality difference between the teams that we're down there with at the moment. Normally, historically, West Ham have been involved down the bottom of the league now for about 3 seasons. But we've been kind of kept afloat by doing just enough based on the fact that the 3 teams that were down the bottom were so uncharacteristically dog shit that it didn't really matter what we did. It didn't matter. You could just scrape through, made no difference. You could respect the point. You could do this shit. You could. But look at Leeds. So we're 3 points from Nottingham Forest, 3 points from Leeds, 5 points from Fulham. All right? 7 points from Brentford. That's why I'm not happy. And if you watch Leeds against Man City, Leeds were unlucky. 3 bastard games. They had Man City, they had Chelsea, they had Liverpool in a week. They've played Man City. They went down. They pulled it back. And then they was unlucky to lose it in extra time. They gave a real good fist of it. You know what happens with us when we go down against Liverpool or we go down against any of these massive teams? We try and consolidate. Look at what we did 2-0 down against Liverpool. We just tried damage limitation. Oh, don't want to concede too many. They went 2-0 down, went for the fucking win. And they could have got it as well. That is the difference between the teams that we're going up against. And I am worried about it, because Leeds with that attitude, and I mean it, this season, the point ain't going to be enough. You're going to need to go for 3. We had Man United on the ropes in that game. It was a shit, boring, dull game. And all that we were waxing lyrical about, let's be honest, was Todibo, Wan-Bissaka, Magassa, all defenders. Oh, they're doing brilliant. Loads of... And they were. But all we're waxing lyrical about is defenders. In 2 games, we had 2 shots on goal in 180 minutes. That's all we've had. So that's why I'm not over the moon. That's why I'm not getting carried away. That's why I'm not going to sit here and say, we're back, baby. Because we're fucking not. With the application, I can understand being satisfied with the application of the team. I get that. You know, loads of effort, loads of fight, loads of character in that group of players. We all had that. That much is true. But that's the bare minimum that you should expect anyway. That's how low the bar has sunk at West Ham now, where we basically credit our team for trying. That's what we're doing. Outside anything else, putting a tackle in, trying, doing what they should fundamentally fucking do anyway, we get excited about that now because we don't see it very often. But why on earth? I'm still scratching my head now. Did Nuno, basically what he went there for was a point. We had the point, we did fuck all, just defended. Man United scored, so we went after it to try and get that point back. We got the point back by scoring the goal. Man United literally receded, like my fucking hairline. They receded back to their 18-yard box. What did he do? Did he go for it? No, he fucking didn't. Almost immediately, he hooks off Callum Wilson for Max Kilman. He's like, oh, came for the point, got the point, lovely jubbly, thank you very much. Same as against Brighton. Now, I'm sorry, we can't keep on having that. I don't know what's... Same as against Bournemouth, sorry. We can't keep on having that. It's really pissing me off. It's really difficult to watch West Ham. Incredibly difficult. I've watched most of the football through last week, even today, like the Aston Villa-Arsenal game, all the other games going for it, apart from the Everton fucking ball fest, that was. There was 3 goals in it, but my God, how there was 3 goals scored with like 0 XG for each team, I don't know. But that was Moyes versus Dyche. So I didn't watch that. Didn't go near it. I saw the stats. That was all I needed to know. You knew what that game was going to be like. All of these managers, to a degree, Frank as well. Frank, Nuno, Moyes, Dyche, they're all cut from the same cloth. They're not spectacles. They're not going to put on a good performance for you for either a neutral or the supporters that go and support that go and watch their teams. We're never going to be good to watch. We're just not. It's never going to be fun watching us play fucking football. And that is what is annoying me now. Everything that everyone's saying is true. Everything that I said was true about the players. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, brilliant. Amazing performance. Tadibo, brilliant defensive performance. Magassa, brilliant defensive performance. Potts, wonderful defensive performance. Keep defensive, defend, fucking defend. This is what I'm getting at. This is the problem. And I'm getting more wound up the more I fucking think about it. I really am. Because I know it ain't going to fucking change. It's not. It's not. If he goes out and gets the players that he wants, he wants Traore. Why does he want Traore? So that he can sit 8 players behind a fucking ball and launch it long to a bloke who can run after it. That's it. That's the game plan. Because it's what he's done before. But anyway. So brilliant game earlier on for Leeds. Look, listen, shouldn't really be crediting Leeds because we don't want them to be doing fucking well. But when you watch a team that give everything, and I'll tell you what else really got my goat watching that, and it does every time. This is the other thing, the other big problem with West Ham at the moment. We have no home advantage. I got corrected on one thing, which was correct in that other game. I knew they was at home. I watched the game. I just said they went away to Chelsea. I know they was at home. They've got a fucking home advantage at Leeds. You see that stadium? It's fucking bouncing in there. Absolutely bouncing. The fans were sucking the ball into that net. And that is how we used to be, but it's how we now no longer are. And it isn't just because of the fans. It is because of the stadium as well, but it is also the fans. The demographic in that stadium in terms of, we've been ethnically cleansed. Not ethnically, but in terms of the historical West Ham fans, they're gone. We're gone. We're cleansed. It's all fucking gentrified over there now. The old West Ham fans, a lot of them are gone. They are now. It's as simple as that. So even if you try to get something really going in there, you're never going to replicate what you see at Leeds or at the City Ground when it's bouncing. Fulham I'll exclude. They're a load of fucking hooray Henrys, aren't they? Brentford maybe might struggle. But what I'm saying is Nottingham Forest and Leeds, if you're looking at the 12th man, we haven't got a fucking home advantage. So we've got a coward for a manager, because that is what he is. If you're looking at Leeds go 2-0 down against Liverpool, same as what we did at home. They ain't good enough for them. They fucking throw on attackers, not defenders. They go for the game. What do? We've got a coward in charge. Against Man United, we got the goal back. That's enough. Just enough. It's all about doing just enough. We got the point. Don't need to do any more than that. It's getting on my fucking tits. It really is. And it isn't going to be enough this year. I've said it before. When Nuno saved Nottingham Forest in his first season, it was by a fucking gnat's dick. They literally just made it out of there. The reason that fucking Garakanakis, whatever his name is, the Nottingham Forest manager, that was a bloke who's in Hangover, wasn't it? Yeah, him, Galifianakis. The reason he lost his shit with him on the pitch last season was because he thought Nuno was throwing their fucking chances of top four away through gutless football and not going for the game and not going for the win. That was the reason why he was getting frustrated with him. Because as we've seen, as West Ham fans, when you're a Nottingham Forest, when you're a Leeds, when you're a West Ham, these chances that you get, they're few and far between. Look how many chances. I know we got into Europe, but we could have got into fucking Champions League. In that first season, we could have. But they didn't. They don't do it. They don't gamble. They won't push that extra fucking mile. You have these opportunities. You have to capitalise on them. You must capitalise on them. Otherwise, you end up like Leicester. Otherwise, you end up like West Ham now. Fucking 18th in the league. 3 points adrift. The sliding doors moments that we've had, it's ridiculous. And managers like Nuno, I'm sure, and we're including Moyes in this, I'm sure it's because they know their limitations. They know where they're comfortable. And they slam the fucking brakes on. I don't know anyway. It just winds me up. It really does wind me up. And we're going to talk about Brighton. What I want someone to do, this is a phone-in show. So you've heard me have a little moan. You've heard me have a little rant. But yeah, I'm just, you can phone in. So if you want to phone in, please do. Have a chat with me. You know, I want someone to make me feel more positive about this. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I physically, how we can just watch what we've been watching, you know, and having watched 180 minutes of football against two of the shittest Liverpool and Man United teams that we've seen, and only have 2 shots on goal, shithouse a goal from a corner, and then start fucking raving over it and having a go at fans that are a little bit frustrated is mental. It's actually mental how easily some fans are pleased. We've literally been mind fucked into accepting the bare minimum. You know, like I said, if you speak to most people that are over the moon with that performance, they'll probably come back and say the same thing. I saw heart and I saw commitment. Those are the absolute fucking bare. That's the bare minimum things. They shouldn't even be metrics that we judge footballers on, because that should be expected. They're being paid fuck knows how much anyway. But even without that, if you're playing football, you should be giving 100%. You don't get a pat on the back for giving 100%. As far as I'm fucking concerned, anyway. But yes. So if somebody does want to phone in, look. Everton are playing, whatever. Everton are playing well, fine. I mean, the couple of games where I have suffered watching them, I mean, they're winning against XG. They didn't today because Sean Dyche, he's just as defensive as Moyes. But yeah, look, they're doing all right. They're up the league. It won't last. You can't win against XG forever. You can't. If Brighton win against us tomorrow, they go 5th. There's only about 3-4 points in it. But yeah, fine. Well done, Moyes. Well done. Don't give a fuck about Moyes anyway. Right. Okay. Let's get rid of that off the screen. Oh, hang on.
Hello.
I don't know whether you're aware, SportsX, but I'm live at the moment.
I didn't come in live too.
You've come here to come live.
No, I didn't even know you're on, but everything. I'm coming live.
Well, yeah, you're on now. Say hello to everyone.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Right, you sound you sound half asleep, mate. You all right?
Calling in to say hello, but obviously I'm live. So the fans, hi, the SportsX here. I was, because man, you have a lifetime chance to sign one of the biggest names on the planet.
Yeah, which I'm getting which I'm getting a load of shit over, by the way. I am. I'm getting non-stop abuse for the Neymar story. Just so you know.
when you say abuse, they don't want him, or
No, they're telling me I'm making it up. I didn't.
well, the only people. Listen, I'm telling you, Neymar wants to come to West Ham.
Thank you. Yep.
Neymar wants to link up with Paqueta. Neymar would raise the game of Paqueta. Neymar even raised the game of Guilherme. And Neymar don't need to come to West Ham.
No.
Neymar is worth more than £200 million. West Ham can never pay. But the fact is, Neymar has a big ambition to get a fourth time record of going to the Olympics. And
he wants to go to the World Cup, doesn't he?
The Olympics, sorry. The World Cup, sorry.
He's not a 100 meters runner.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yes. World Cup. Well, the thing is, track in your stadium, maybe you think you need athletes rather than football players. Well, never mind. So no, maybe I'm thinking about the Olympic stadium and not the football stadium. Anyway, guys, listen. I don't think you understand. This is a player with 300 million.
Can I just interrupt you just very quickly? Because since this link's come out, I've been following Neymar. Would never, normally. You know, he plays for Santos. The last three times he's played, all right, he scored 5 goals, 2 of them man in the matches. He got a hat-trick in his last game. He's finished, though. He's finished.
Listen to me. At 33 years old, backward is better than your best player that you have in midfield.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, Neymar has gone up in my estimation. We always knew he had talent. But this guy left the riches in Saudi Arabia to go back to help his boyhood club, which eventually produced the likes of Pele.
Yeah.
Just for the record. And he's gone back to his club of helping them to get out of the same position that West Ham is in now. And single-handedly, he has mobilized the rest of the troops to put on performance, save them from relegation.
Yep.
Okay? When you have somebody like coming to your club, it's more than a football player. The on-field, what would I say, benefits and the off-field benefits are
what a lot of people, because very, very few criticisms. There are some, of course, there always is. No matter what player you link with any club, there's always going to be some. But
guys, if you believe in
but what I mean
if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in Jesus was perfect, but he still got murdered. Yes, please.
No, but what I'm saying is, hot on the heels of what Paqueta did last week, people have kind of got the ump with not Brazilians or anything like that, but what's the word? That type of character that's liable to kind of have a tantrum and stuff like that. I can't think what they call it now off the top of my head. But
what, prima donna?
Prima donna. That's it. Yeah, prima donna. So do you think that somebody like Neymar coming into West Ham, do you think that would harm the environment at West Ham, or do you think that would excite players like Bowen, like Paqueta, like Guilherme, all of these other players like Somerville? Do you think it would lift the mood, lift the camp, lift the fan base as well? I mean, they might even sell some of them shitty ball sports shirts with his name on the back.
Listen, guys. When we talk about somebody like Neymar, first and foremost, Neymar is not petulant.
Right.
Number one. Number two, very rich guy who doesn't need to come to West Ham. He's only coming because obviously he wants to show Ancelotti what he can do in what is recognized as the most physical and best league in the world. Neymar also identifies the fact that by linking with forming a week in, week out telepathic combination in midfield between the two will augur well for his as the first two in those positions for Brazil.
Yeah.
But we also have to understand something. When we talk about the likes of Neymar, the likes of Paqueta, with due respect, are in a lower league.
Yeah.
And so the reputation and the that domestic players of, say, Brazilians, of the ilk of Paqueta has for the likes of Neymar would actually put the club in good stead, because when Neymar walks into the training ground and into the changing room, he will immediately command the respect of the likes. Paqueta would not behave the way he behaved, irrespective of what his mitigating circumstances may be. Yes,
Yeah.
but he would not behave the way he behaved if Neymar was on the pitch. Actually recognize that he has to respect his senior.
Yeah.
And Neymar is the kind of guy that will keep him in check.
Yeah.
If Bowen really wants to make Tuchel takes, or Tuchel whatever, take real notice of him, he should go in and beat the drum to Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, if we really do have the opportunity to bring Neymar, it will lift my game.
Yeah.
It will lift the game of West Ham.
Yeah.
And it will guarantee, well, not guarantee, give me the best chance of getting on the plane to the Olympic. Also, I'm obsessed with this word Olympic, to the World Cup.
I've caught you.
Okay?
I've caught you off guard. You was literally you was half asleep.
Well, to be honest with you, yeah. Well, actually, I was having my afternoon rest because I was up watching all night.
Yeah.
Yes, but I've just sent you a link,
Right.
guys. I've just sent you a link before because I didn't even know you were alive. I was just calling you just to have a chit chat with you.
Okay.
And that link was not made last year. It was not made 5 years ago. It's the current link of Neymar. Put it on YouTube, because this guy can do things with the ball that still Paqueta would love to learn to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
See. The thing is, just very quickly, right? Because there's an awful lot of look, for a start with Paqueta in the fan base, he divides opinion with certain fans. Not with me. I love Paqueta, the type of player that he is. I'm going to say most West Ham fans do. Most do, but there are some that don't. They just like a hard-working, laborious player. Like there's a lot of fans would rather have Souček in the team than Paqueta. Right?
Actually, I need to interject.
Go on.
Because I actually started saying something and then I got sidetracked.
Go on.
There is no questioning the ability, the talent of Neymar.
No.
Well, what Neymar has won me over with in this time is that he's going back to a club, not at the top of the league, in the bottom of the league, and almost single-handedly, he has fought in the trenches with his compatriots.
Yeah.
And against the odds, took on the mantle and got them into safety. But the point is this: he did that not by talent, by graft.
I know.
Neymar showed me sides of his game that won me over, because what happened was, take away his technical ability and his dribbling skills and whatever, Neymar was dropping back deep into midfield, making crunching tackles to get the ball, screaming at his teammates to pull their socks up.
And also Barry, just very quickly, there is something else as well.
Guys, look at the link. But don't take my word.
No,
look at the link.
They won't be able to see the link. I'll put the link in the comments of the video after. But what I'm saying is what Neymar is currently playing, and it's a minor injury. He's playing with a meniscus injury, which is, I've looked into it. Apparently, he's got a 3 or a 4 week recovery once he's had the procedure. But playing with it means playing with pain. He's choosing to play with pain to help Santos out of the relegation zone.
And he's choosing to play. And he's choosing to play with the same pain, and not to do any surgery until after the World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The bottom line is really, most people have a meniscus issue. Most people. In life, we all go through erosions and of our body, and at some point our cartilages get eroded, and we have to strengthen them or whatever. But it's not something that is. It's not. Nearly every player probably has a meniscus issue at some stage in their career.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not life threatening. It's not anything that is going to hold him out for years. But I want to say something else. Really, this is a guy with 300 million social media followings.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think if you put all the social media following of every single player in the squad and the female team and the coaches and everything of West Ham, I don't think you get to 100 million.
They wouldn't have that. But I think what people want to know most of all, because there's no two ways about it. You've been tracking West Ham. You will have seen the result with Leeds tonight as well. With Liverpool. You know the situation that West Ham are currently in, and you know the situation that we're going to be in come January when that window opens. We're going to be in that bottom three. There's no two ways about it. So we need players that are gonna lift us. This is my opinion. I think we need difference makers. We do. We've got now. Look. There's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me here, right? I think the midfield the other day was brilliant. I do. Magassa, Fernandez, Potts. I thought it was brilliant. But what did it create? So great defensively, but it's creating nothing. You do need someone that creates chances so that you can score fucking goals. You just do. So you can be as defensively solid as you want and stop goals going in the other end. You can do that. But how do you go about scoring goals? And in my opinion, we do.
Guys,
we need Stardust in that team. We absolutely do. Otherwise, because we haven't got the 12th man in that stadium, we've got no home advantage at all. We need someone big that can potentially lift that crowd as well. In my opinion,
guys, Neymar can play wide left, can play wide right, can play number 8, can play number 10, and play a striker. I mean, I don't think any opposition that even see Neymar coming off the bench with 15 minutes to go and you're 1-1 is going to think they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
For starters, even if he doesn't come and score a goal himself, the attention that he will attract to him will allow the likes of Bowen, Paqueta, and whoever else, and even Wilson to go through.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is that sometimes people believe that they have to sign a player and that individual player alone needs to come up with the goods. Sometimes just signing a particular player can help other players to do the work that even the player that is bought to do.
Yeah,
because the attention that Neymar will attract from opposition defenders will be such. Imagine they have to concentrate now on Paqueta and Neymar. That will then open the opportunity for a Fernandez or a Colin Wilson or whoever you get in January to go through. And of course, I'm going to say this. There is not another young striker on the planet. Not another young striker on the planet that has the ability and the potential to be a world beater in the next couple of years than the player Kaya George.
Yep.
I believe if it wasn't me offering Kaya George, he would be at West Ham. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Because the reality is this player runs all day, has the ability to do all the things that Sergio Aguero did and more. So I am pushing the cause for Neymar and Kaya George.
Yep.
And I believe that all three players would like to be together, Kaya, Paqueta, and Neymar, in pursuance of their ultimate goal to get to the World Cup.
Yep.
Well, let me say something else. If the player wants to come to West Ham in order to consolidate his position or to make sure he gets on the plane to the World Cup, to make it a 4th time appearance in the World Cup, what better, target can he have that can help West Ham than that? Because he has to perform to his best of his ability, show no petulance, do nothing that would be untoward in order to attract the interest of Ancelotti to take him.
Yeah, look. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. And even the naysayers in the West Ham, look, the naysayers are reacting the same way as what I did when you first told me, which was ages ago. When you told me, and I said, "Oh, shut up." That's never going to happen. We're not going to get him. And I took some convincing. So I do understand the reaction of people that are reacting the way that you are. It's a ridiculous link. It's a ridiculous idea that West Ham could sign Neymar. I do get it. I felt embarrassed sharing the name, not because I don't believe it, but because I knew how people was going to react to it. I knew how they was going to react.
I'm going to say one thing.
Yeah, go on.
They call me the mailman, okay?
Yeah.
Because I always deliver. Number one, okay?
Yeah.
There is never, take politics aside, take racism aside, take any unnatural obstacles that there can be aside. I have never been given the opportunity to bring a player, whether it be to Birmingham City or West Ham, and not delivered.
Yeah.
If I tell you I can bring something, or somebody wants to come to your club because they want to come.
Yeah.
Okay? I can tell you now that Aston Villa is very, 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 very pushing very hard.
Yeah.
For Kaya George.
Right, 1 second. David Lloyd, it's your last chance, mate. You can have your opinions, but if you carry on, I'm going to block you from this broadcast. So I'll get the.
What did he say?
No, he's just saying you're not a real football agent. You know, don't exist. Zero. What this is, you're either getting people that are haters from other channels that listen to other ITKs and stuff like that, and they don't want to believe anyone that isn't what he is or whatever. But yeah, that's your last chance, mate. I will block you. Be respectful. Most people are loving it.
What is a real football agent?
Well, I don't think that chap knows what a real football agent is.
What a real football agent is, I'm not being funny. You don't need to be a football agent to bring somebody. Even if it wasn't a football agent, all you have to have is contacts. Most football agents don't have any contacts. Most football agents, really, unfortunately, they just have to happen to know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
The reality is this, that there is an opportunity for the player to come and your club doesn't have the ambition to bring him. It's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay? And I can tell you now, I can bring you 100 people who can verify that I could have brought you Lautaro Martinez, that I could have brought you Gonzalo Higuain, that I could have brought you Pablo Dybala, that I could have brought you Diego Milito, that I could have brought you Alexis Sanchez, that I could have brought you players that Morgan Rogers.
And just so that you know, the majority of these ones, I mean, obviously those ones come before the time that I was, talking to X. But in the time that I've been speaking to X, look, listen, I've seen the receipts around the players like Darwin Núñez, Brobby, and all of these other players recently that we've been linked with that SportsX has tried to bring into the club. And we've got the same in this window, but they do get blocked. They get blocked because there is, like I've mentioned on the other video, there's an infiltration of people. It's like a closed circle, a little closed clique, and it's less about the player that's being brought in and more about the player, more about the person who brings that player. So as X was saying earlier on, if it wasn't me bringing Kyo George, they would have probably signed him by now. I.e., if it was Salthouse or Silkman, they'd have signed him.
Well, like I said, if the people that they prefer to bring the player would bring in Lionel Messi, and I have Lionel Messi, they would sign Lionel Messi. Okay? Yeah, but the reality is this.
Just 1 second, right? I'm going to put this up. So this is from the same chap. No, I sub to your channel and I have an opinion. I'm happy to be humbled. SportsX, post a link to your pages, network, anything. Let me ask you something. How many people do you know when they leak stories or the ITKs? How many people you never know who the source is, and how many sources come on air and openly talk about that to the people as well? So how the fuck do you know about whenever anything gets mentioned in the paper, whenever X mentions anyone or anyone else, you don't know. When do you ever hear Salthouse speaking? How do you know that a player is done? This is a chap that has come on and he's done several shows now, and believe me when I say I would not entertain it, I would not entertain this if I wasn't convinced 100%. This guy's legit. It just is. I can't say why, but he is. Trust me. Okay?
I say nothing without evidence.
No,
I would not betray
I've seen the evidence.
You know if I have to produce the evidence.
Yeah, I've seen the evidence. Yeah.
The worst was a manager whose name I won't care to mention, who had the audacity to say that he wouldn't sign Morgan Rogers because he can't run. Well, can he not run? He's running for England.
Right, here's a good question. So this is from Fortune's Hiding Down. This is Kingy from Kingy. He says, serious question. If X says that he can bring people in, but they always get blocked, why are you still bothering? It sounds like a lost cause. But I think that's the nature of the beast in your game, isn't it? You have to keep on trying to push players and get them in. If you was to give up every time you get knocked back, you'd never get anything through, would you? That's just from the outside in.
When you're somebody of my background, really, you have to understand that no doors are easily opened for you, so you just have to keep knocking. And occasionally you don't get the door open. You have to be like a little mice, be able to get underneath the crevice. Yeah. So it's like I say, with due respect, really, I have done a lot of things at West Ham, but I've never really done anything with West Ham.
Yeah.
Most of the managers, unfortunately, they have their preferential agents that they work with.
Yeah.
And some of them really cannot bite the hands that feed them. And it's also one of the reasons why West Ham is not getting the best young players as well, because all of the managers know that their lifespan as a manager is pretty short. So they're not interested in developing any players. They're not interested in players that may take a month to get running. But you see, most of the players that West Ham buys is based on current statistics. Everybody can have a current statistics like Skamaka or whatever player. But the point is really the art of getting the best player is not to look at statistics, but look at horses for courses.
Yeah.
When we look at, for example, Darwin Núñez, really, what's happening is that Darwin Núñez may have gone to a club that doesn't get the best out of his strengths. I guarantee you that if Darwin Núñez was at West Ham, he would absolutely be a superstar. His ability to run behind defenders, of course, he can be a bit erratic in the final third. But the reality is, really, he is actually overshadowed by the likes of Salah and other players. He's not going to come to the fore. If he comes to West Ham, he's a superstar immediately because he'll be the best of what is available there.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You understand? And so when I offer players, I don't offer players that everybody else offers, because everybody can want to take the same girl to the dance. The thing is to look and find the girl that nobody isn't looking at. And when she walks into the dance, everybody wonder, why didn't I see her?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. A club like West Ham, you've almost got to be anyone can buy a player that's in their best moment. So if you can see someone that's having a great season, they're also going to be at their highest value. But what you've got to be able to analyse is maybe a player that is a great player, but they're having a dip, like Brobby was. Now's the time to go and buy that player because they're having a dip. You'll be able to get them cheaper. But I'm just going to put a couple of comments up just very quickly because I'm going to address this. I don't know why I've got to, because all we're doing is giving people information and we're just getting people fucking moan about it. It's annoying. Right, so he said he's a bloody mailman, but he suggests players who get blocked. So what is it? We've already explained. If you haven't watched the Sports X videos that we've done previously, go and watch them, and it explains how it works. Right. So what you've got is typically this is how I understand it. You've got the player, right? The player hasn't. They've always got their agents. That isn't Sports X. Sports X basically is a facilitator. There's several people in the chains in the chains of deals. What Sports X does is he basically does all. He talks to West Ham, finds out what they need, and then he'll go out and find the best player for that. He goes out. He makes sure that that the money with the club is right. He makes sure that the deal is sorted with the player, that the money's agreeable. He structures the whole deal and then goes to the club, presents it to the club, and says, "There you go. There's your deal. It's all done. I've done all the work." That's all that SportsX can do. He can't push it through. He doesn't have the ability, no agent does, to force a deal through. So what he does is he goes and he engineers deals, gets them done, gets them wrapped up, puts them on the table, and then 9 times out of 10, Sullivan will go with an absolute wanker that someone like Salthouse brings in instead. More money as well. They'll pay more money through Salthouse rather than, I think you've said it before, the line that you used was they would rather sign Lionel, if you was bringing them prime Lionel Messi, and someone else was bringing them Lionel Messup, they would rather pay more for Lionel Messup from someone else that's their favoured agent than get the real Lionel Messi. And that is the reason why we spunk so much money at this club. That's the reason why we never make any fucking money. That's the reason we lose so much money on our players. Just look at the business that we've done. That's the reason why. It's because they don't listen to the right people. SportsX isn't on his own. I'm sure there's other people just like him that try to bring the right players in.
Absolutely.
But they don't listen to them. They don't listen to them.
I'm not unique. I'm not
Yeah,
unique. And this issue is not. Sorry, I'm not trying to make myself out to be a victim.
yeah,
This is not this is not unique to myself. There's a whole load of other people that has similar ability and similar opportunities to bring players.
yeah.
But of course, if they're not flavor of the month or they're not
No,
part of the system, I mean, imagine you could have had Raúl Jiménez. I actually didn't speak
I
Spanish, so
remember that. I remember that one. Yeah,
I organized I organized a translator to go with me to Atletico Madrid to speak to them about opening the opportunity for a loan with option with Raúl Jiménez. I was at the time the person representing your club in scouting was a guy called Tony Henry, who then obviously said a few negative things to me, and obviously everybody thought I had a chip on my shoulder. But unfortunately for him, he repeated the same thing with other people, and he was taken seriously, and he ended up having to step down or got suspended or whatever.
yeah,
But the bottom line is this: really, at the time of presenting Raúl Jiménez, it's typical of what I do because I don't look for what they ask for. I look for what I see because I watch the matches. I see the deficiencies. I see what a particular style of player can bring to the table. And one of the problems that we all have at the moment, or West Ham has, and most clubs have, is that everybody's chasing the same player.
yep.
And because everybody is chasing the same player, that becomes an artificial lack of
Well, it drives
supply.
drives the price up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And therefore, what happens, it doesn't matter how much money you borrow, it doesn't matter how much gate receipts you have, it doesn't matter how much television revenue you have. The reality is really there's always the parasite or the parasitic agents out there that will exploit the opportunity of basically losing that same player to be bidded by your club and another club, and their only interest is to get the best deal for themselves. When we look at, for example, the kind of players that come to your club, it's clear that the player still has some ability because Callum Wilson, for example, scored two beautiful goals
yeah.
in a couple of matches.
I must admit, I'm going to give X some credit here. So he was nothing to do with Wilson, and he said that to me. But when I
Yeah,
was moaning about him, he did say, he said, Nick, he said Wilson is a good player. So
yeah,
he's been
yeah.
it's been a surprise. That's what I mean. You do give credit to other people's players as well. Like you said, he's a
Okay,
good
and
player.
I'm
He's better
glad,
than what you had.
and I'm glad you said that. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, because one of the biggest problems that we have in football is that most of the people that are trying to bring players into your club have no interest in your club, because I'm one of those persons. For example, I have nothing to do with the player Juve,
yeah,
nothing whatsoever.
yeah. And you said you
But
rated him
I
as well.
Yes, but I think he's a very good acquisition.
Yeah,
Obviously, obviously the team has been not doing too great, and so his game has fallen backwards a little bit. But you can see that player has got great potential. Has nothing to do with me. I didn't offer him. Yeah,
no,
the reality is really at the end of the day is that even if I'm offering good players, you want to see other agents also offering good players because we're talking about a team. We're not talking about individuals.
yeah,
So even if you put Pele on the pitch and only him alone is good, you're still going to lose the match.
yeah,
So anybody that has any great interest in helping a team or wanting their player to succeed or the player they recommend to succeed will want to know that other people are also contributing with good players. That's the bottom line. It's not
no,
about me. Yeah,
no.
and I'm glad you raised the issue earlier because a lot of people may think, oh, Sportex only comes on moaning about himself. This point, what I'm trying to lay out there is that I am not unique. There are a lot of sports X and Y's and Z's out there that have great players, but unless they take them to people who can facilitate getting through the doors with them, those players are left with those people who are very good at identifying players.
Yeah, sorry about the dogs, people. For some reason, there's fireworks going off outside. There has been for about 20 minutes. So they will
Yeah.
calm down. But no, I think look, but this is the yeah. So this guy had something to do with John Duran. Yes, he did have. I report. Listen, anyone that's watched this channel, I reported that before anyone else. I actually broke that one, John Duran, the first time around, and that was because SportsX was trying to engineer it. The club fucked that up. They fucked it up 3 times. He could have got that done. They messed it up. He tried to bring him in. He tried to engineer it and re-engineer it again the second time around. But I'm not going to explain why. But the club try and do things in a certain way, cutting certain people out, and then deals fall flat because it's all about whenever they do a deal, it has to have someone that they want in that deal, in the middle of that deal, or it just doesn't seem to happen. I mean, look, this doesn't mean that deals never get done. Obviously, X has brought players into West Ham. It does happen. But when you see what's been happening for the last 10 years, 15 years, it's getting more and more, 10 years in particular, it's got more and more difficult for the likes of X and others to bring us in. The Lanzinis, who X was responsible for, to bring in players like that, because you've now got the super agents tucked in, nice, sitting alongside them, and they've got carte blanche on it all. They'll just go, "Oh, no, you don't want him. Go. He's rubbish, that player. Go and get this one. I've got a striker on me books," and that's literally how we've been signing players. And look how much money we've hemorrhaged.
But I tell you what is even worse is that your club will probably need a particular player that I offer at the moment. But because they know I'm the one that has the contact to the player, they'll wait till, for example, any mandate or any control I have over the player goes. So they'll probably send their people to sign him in the summer.
So this is another thing. This is another thing that happens. So, X will sort a deal out for a player, and then what they'll do is they'll go, "No, we don't want that player," and then they'll take a risk and they'll ride it out until the next window. But the trouble is, 9 times out of 10, the players that have been recommended end up fucking blowing up. By the time they come to try and assign them, it's twice as much as what they was trying to sign them for before. Or the player just won't deal with them because they don't want to deal with, they've got morals in a way that they want to do business, or the agents have. Sometimes that does happen. But yeah, if they were just to literally, that West Ham, we could have a far different set of players now for the money that we've spent if we'd have done things properly, but we don't do things properly. We never do. We never do. And this is a fucking problem. And I'm going to go back to another comment here because I know you're going to want to address this. And this is to a chap up, he's really good bloke, Trudge. He's one of those that likes gritty players. It's fine. I like that. He likes defenders. Well, there is a defender that we could have at this club that's doing amazingly at Newcastle at the moment, Malik Thiaw. He was offered to West Ham. That's another one. He was when he from Schalke. We was offered him. Nah, don't want him. Morgan Rogers, 12 million. David Moyes didn't want him. So we've literally been offered these players, and they just don't explain that one. How can now? I mean, what is Morgan Rogers worth now? He was unbelievable today. And what is he worth now? 12 million. No, I don't want him. And you've seen it with certain people. I'm going to say it now, right? Because you had the ump about it. But there's certain players that you've offered to, you haven't got to confirm or don't confirm if you don't want to. But the story is Alcaraz, which is the player that I reported that we was going to intercept from Everton, right? That player was offered to Moyes at West Ham. Moyes said, "No, I don't want him." He's gone into he's gone into Everton. First thing he's done is sign that player because he can do it through one of his favourite agents. Didn't want him at West Ham. So this is what I'm saying. So they're all the fucking same. And this is a comment, and this is what we've got to get away from. So Troj says Sullivan needs to let the manager pick his players. Is that not how we've got in this mess?
No. I don't know if Sullivan needs to pick the players, but somebody who is proficient needs to pick the players.
But what I'm saying is, do we need to let the managers pick the players?
No. I believe for as long as the managers pick the players, it opens the opportunity for their preferential agents to only bring the players that they can source. The point is really historic. Well, in recent times, the average lifespan of a manager is between 18 months to 24 months. The average contract of a player is between 5 and 6 years.
Yep.
When the manager signs a player who has the 18 months lifespan, and the player has a 5-year lifespan, if that player is not good, even when the manager leaves, there's at least 3.5 years left on that particular player's contract.
Yeah, we see it all the time. New managers come in, don't want them players now. I want them out. I want to get my own player in.
Well, look at Potter. Potter bought a goalkeeper, and I'm not so sure that he'd play for the girls' team. But never mind. Yeah, now the reality is that they insisted that was the only goalkeeper they wanted, and it's the best goalkeeper that they should have.
Mm,
Right. Now, the reality is this: I believe that a club needs to identify its identity. And that's a bit of a conundrum there.
yeah,
Identify its identity by its players, and the managers coach the players during their tenure, so that when they leave, the same players are still worthwhile to another manager that comes in, which has to be a manager that fits the style of players that are brought in.
exactly. It just
Because
makes sense. You know, if you've got a philosophy at the club and you buy players and build a team to fit a philosophy, you go out and get a coach to fit that philosophy. When that manager fails or you fall out with him, he goes, you go and find another manager in the same profile that can slot in and pick those players up and use them.
if you're running a hotel, every time the manager leaves, you don't change the beds and the furniture in it, do you? The bottom line, they're still there. That's what the identity of the hotel is. And the reality is this: for as long as West Ham keeps buying players that the manager wants, every time the manager leaves, somebody else will come and say those players are not
Yeah.
good enough for them, and they'll have to repeat the whole situation. One of the
And
things that I find very fraudulent.
Trodgers followed up. So he said, you do realise that Nuno left Forest due to them signing players that he didn't want, basically not Mendes players. And I do know that was a problem. But do you not think that's a problem, Trodge? Do you not see that as a problem? That the manager will not listen to any player that isn't being offered through a certain port of call, like Sullivan with Silkman and Salthouse. Nuno only wants Mendes players. Do you not see a problem with that? Especially when you look at his average lifespan at his clubs. This is his fourth club in about fucking 2 years, isn't it? Do you not see a problem with it? And we never learn.
I
This
tell
is
you,
why we've got a mishmash of players from different managers.
I tell you what really bothers me about managers. A manager, before he gets a job, I would expect he would have to have an interview. A manager sees an ailing manager with a particular squad of players not doing well.
Yeah.
He has an interview and he recognizes that he's being interviewed because he needs to come in and do better. He therefore would have to impress the people interviewing him that the squad that is available he can do better with. So please, can you explain to me why after getting the job, all of a sudden on his arrival, he then says that player is not good enough, the squad is not good enough, they don't run enough, they're not this, they're not that. And what is even worse is managers that were actually at another club at the same time while the other manager that they're going to replace. So they would have played against each other and I would have seen at first hand the opposition players from the team that they're now taking over. So how can you justify that a player is not good enough on your arrival when you took the job, saying that you can do better with the players that are already there?
Yeah, because we know ourselves that when managers have come in to West Ham and they've basically identified in the interview and said, well, that squad isn't good enough, it needs rebuilding. The first thing that happens is Sullivan goes, no, 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 he won't do it. The only way a manager gets a job at this club is if they come in and do exactly what you said. They'll see a manager failing, struggling with a group of players, and they say, I can do better with that group of players. That's the only way they're getting a job with Sullivan.
Well, guys, I'm just glad that the point was raised earlier. This is not about me. This is about a number of people that are not given the opportunity to bring players that I believe that could be better quality and at better value for money than the ones that you get. But what is even more um, distasteful is that the agents that are identified as being beneficiary to the club or preferential to the club, those agents are not bringing you their best players. They're bringing their players that are going backwards or their careers are on the slide. They're not bringing you their best players when they're available. They're bringing you their best play. They're bringing their best players to other clubs, and only as a last ditch, you get the players that have seen better days, really.
Yeah,
And
and look,
so
I know that somebody's going to pop up and say, "Well, you're offering Neymar." Neymar's a little bit different. This is completely out of the blue. None of you believe, like I don't believe, that a superstar like Neymar could come here, whether he's 33 or 35. He's fucking Neymar. None of you really truly believe that it could happen. I reckon if people was to wake up in the morning and see that we'd signed him, I'll tell you what, it would completely change the mood around the club. More, I mean, not just Neymar. I will say, because I think the one that I would take him in a heartbeat, but the double deal of Kaio George, because Kaio George is, and I've been watching him. I mean, he's got a 28 GA, I think, so far this season. He's absolutely banging him in. He's creative. He's got everything to fucking. He suits the Premier League. He's like a little ball the way that he plays. He's got the build for it. He runs his arse off. Does not stop running. Presses for fun. He links up play. Scores goals. Creates goals. He's perfect for the Premier League. And he's one yourself. You've said obviously you're a big advocate of John Duran, and that one did burn you a little bit. But you don't think this player's any. Well, you said he's a similar trajectory to John Duran. In fact, you said he's better because he doesn't have the what's the word? Anger issues that John Duran had, where he was kind of, getting in trouble with managers and stuff like that. He had a bit of a problem. That doesn't apply to Kaio George, does it?
the truth is, guys, if I had the opportunity to put if I have the opportunity to put Kaya George on the line with you, which we couldn't do because we couldn't be seen to be poaching a player. But if you would see the personality of the player,
Yeah.
his character, everything about him is a model professional, even at his young age. Like I said, I called in only to say hi to you. So
I'm glad you did. It's been a good show. It's been worthwhile, mate.
I'm pleased for the opportunity. But I mean, your haters or whoever might be criticizing, I'm not calling to talk just about myself.
I don't think they're haters. What it is, mate, the West Ham fan base is frustrated as shit at the moment. And you know what we are? We are frustrated because it makes it even worse when we're offered these players and it doesn't happen and we get worse players. It makes you pissed off, mate. As a West Ham fan, I'm talking now, So that's what you're seeing. You're getting. There's a lot of frustration in this fan base. There just is. They're pissed off.
Please, guys, ask yourself. It may not be the best cup in Europe, but you actually won a cup in Europe, albeit the Conference League. How can you go from there to backwards to nowhere near Europe at the moment? How can anybody that knows West Ham is a big club in the biggest city of England, in London, in a prime area of Stratford, with developmental, residential, and commercial facilities, and yet we have Aston Villa trying to challenge to win the league. We have Bournemouth and Brighton challenging for Champions League, and you guys can be satisfied thinking that what you got is good enough. Come on, please stop it. Yeah, and
well, you look. Well, I've said it before. That cup win. With that cup win, off the back of that, we was in the obviously the Europa League the following year. That was the perfect opportunity for us to shake the hand of a manager that had succeeded after a terrible season in the league. Similar to what Tottenham did with Postecoglou. Shake his hand, say thank you, bring somebody else in, new, start afresh, use it as a platform, a springboard, to push us on and build on that success that we had. Because being in Europe does give you some sort of profile. It does. And it does certainly when you're trying to sign players. So that's what we could have done, but it was they didn't do it. They just ran that season into the ground, let it peter out, let it all die, showed no ambition, and you can't do that when you're West Ham or when you're Nottingham Forest, because I know from conversations that we've had, one of the reasons why people, if you will all remember the Nottingham Forest chairman fallout with Nuno on the pitch, that fallout wasn't just because there was disagreements over players. That was because the chairman could see, well, he'd pumped a load of money into the club and they had an opportunity. They was on the cusp. They was there. They was in the top 4. He was getting frustrated because he didn't see the man being brave enough with the team to try and push on and get. They was dropping like a stone. They was losing game after game after game, pissing away all of that progress that they'd made, and he didn't see that as acceptable. That's why they fell out.
They were one or at most 2 matches away from being in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, some people can get near to the line but can't get you over the line. It's like some people can run with the ball from defense to the 6-yard box but cannot put it in the back of the net. It still means you don't have a goal. So, guys, like I said, it's your club. You do what you want with it, or you listen to what I'm saying. But all I'm saying to you, if I say I can do something, then, or I say somebody is interested in coming, of course the deal has to be right.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to pay Neymar or what he's worth, but obviously the player's not coming because he's financially motivated. Of course, he'll want some semblance. And by the way, he's coming without a transfer fee. So, guys, listen. Like I said, Nick, I just called to say hi, and I've taken the opportunity to talk to the people.
Yeah,
and
mate. Look, I appreciate the work that you do anyway, mate. I know that, and I know that that's the difference with this chap. When you hear, like, because agents that are out there at the moment, they are shocked. So we see it ourselves. Of course, every agent in any deal anywhere, you want to make money out of a deal. But the way that somebody that's been in the game for as long as him, he has a passion in looking for the right player that will come in and help the team. Because you're only ever as good when you're somebody in a profile with SportsX as your last deal. So you've got to take pride in what you do. You have to not just get a deal done, but it's once that deal's done, it's not finished. It has to be a success. So it's very important that he puts a lot of work into finding us the right players. And it's just a shame that other people are not held by the same standards. They can make fuck up after fuck up after fuck up with players, yet they still get used.
Guys, the reality is, who have you got this? When do you play next?
Tomorrow at 2:00, Brighton away.
Okay. Well, hope everything go well for you, and God bless you all. Speak to you another time.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'm sure we'll talk tomorrow, mate. But thanks for the call. It was really good, really good.
No problem. God bless you all. Cheers.
All right, lovely. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. It's good. Look, I don't know why people have to be so aggy in the live chat either. Really, most of you weren't. Most of you weren't. You can have your opinions, but when somebody's phoning in live on air, we're not fucking. I'm not paid to be doing this. When someone's in live on air, I mean, you can mug me off, but don't mug in people that are phoning in, giving up their time, giving you information that other people would never dream of doing. They wouldn't. They operate behind the scenes. But he hasn't done that. He comes on air and he does. He tells you. So I think that's to be respected. So hopefully, it helps, and hopefully Sullivan will do the right thing. But we know he fucking won't. We know he won't do the right thing. You could slap Neymar and fucking Kyle George on the table for half the money that someone else will bring another player in for. It's not going to happen. And yes, we know that. Nuno throws his toys out the pram if he doesn't get his own players. By his own players, that's George Mendes fucking players. Why is that? Is that because they're the best players, is it? No, it ain't. They have to be on George Mendes' books. It's bullshit. Honestly. It's annoying. So we've gone from one Shark Tank to another. And that isn't just Nuno, by the way. The majority of these old-style managers that want to sign their own players, they're all the same. They're all the same. They want to do it via their own intermediaries. Get their own intermediaries in on that deal. You know why that is. It's pretty fucking obvious, isn't it? Like they don't get paid enough. 5 million a year ain't enough to fucking manage a men's football team. But yeah, it's frustrating. If anyone else does want to phone in anyway, and discuss that was good. I enjoyed that anyway. I enjoyed that. But I think it's worthwhile putting stuff like that out there because you would never know otherwise. You would never know. It's all bullshit. All you get told, all you get fed is third-party stuff. You know, like there's a lie going around in Hammer's News at the moment, which is rubbish, about Kyle George, because we leaked Kyle George. I told you about Kyle George last window. You know, he leaked that one live on air. He came on and spoke about the player live on air. We didn't do it then. I thought we've got no chance of getting him. But he's engineered the deal again. So we've got another opportunity, probably the last one, of getting him. Yeah, it's soul destroying. Makes it worse, to be honest, because that sort of knowledge does frustrate you even more. It does. You'd be better off not knowing. But the bullshit was, on Hammer's News, was that West Ham bid 22 million for Kyle George and it's been rejected. No, they fucking haven't. Bullshit. What they're doing is they're somebody has put it out there in the paper that we've made a bid and the players rejected it. Nonsense. I can tell you that's nonsense. I know that much myself. Like I said, I do get receipts for it. He's not yeah. But you know what other people are saying is true as well. If people are trying to do these deals and they never get done because the club won't allow it, what's the point in the information? I think knowledge is power. I think we need to understand the situation that we are currently in, right? And the situation that we are currently in is that we won the Conference League a few years ago. When Moyes left, we had the oldest and smallest squad in the league. It needed rebuilding, whether he was here or not. It needed rebuilding. The investment was fucking shocking. And it's been shocking for 10 fucking years. And what we've done is we've tried to hurriedly do rebuild after rebuild after rebuild using all different fucking pieces. But, you know, at the same time, with no real strategy. Look at that window when you had Stighton picking a few players, Sullivan picking a few players, Lopetegui picking a few players. What sort of way is that to run a fucking football club? And then we wonder why we are now third from fucking bottom, because it's like we've got some God-given right to be in the top six. No, you haven't. You've got to run your club properly. You've got even clubs like fucking Brighton who run their club brilliantly well. They're sitting 10th. It ain't easy. And when you get opportunities, you've got to take them, because at some point you're going to keep on taking the piss and you're going to fall out the fucking league. And that's what they've done. They've taken the piss for too long. They've been milking that fucking cow, siphoning so much fucking money out of this club on wanker deals with their mates that this is where we've ended up. And it's fucking bullshit. It is. And it makes it even worse, right? When you see Leeds and you watch Leeds tonight in that stadium at home against Chelsea, and then tonight, well done. Do you know what? I'm pleased for them. It's nice that there's still a fucking, when you are jealous, incredibly fucking jealous to see that fucking stadium with so much character, 3,000 people making 10 times more noise than 66,000 people could ever make inside that fucking place. Because there's still all their original fans in there, absolutely buzzing, bouncing, exactly what we used to have, that is, exactly what we used to have. But now it's gone, it's dead, they've taken that away. So what that means is if we're going to compete with these teams that have got that 12th man and have got that home advantage, we need to have something a little bit fucking different. You know, hard work and goal ain't going to be enough. We're going to need some magic on the fucking pitch to help us out of it from somewhere. You can't just have fucking ball winners. It's good to have ball winners, but you've got to get the ball in the fucking net. You've got to score to win games. And like I said, against Man United and Liverpool, people are waxing lyrical about performances. We had 2 shots on goal in 180 minutes. It's not fucking good enough. It ain't good enough. But look, anyway, no one's going to phone in anyway. Grumpy bastards. I'm calling other people grumpy. But that's the reason. You know, that. Oh, my mic's gone. Hang on, everyone. My mic's fucked off. Right, on that note, because it's gone to me MacBook speakers, I don't know why. On that note, I'm going to go. Please drop a like on the video if you haven't already. It does really help us. And look, at the end of the day, I understand not having your reservations about Neymar. Of course I fucking do. I didn't believe it either when I was told that story. I was like, go away, that ain't going to happen. And I knew how it was going to be received, and I knew I was going to be memed for it. But at the end of the day, when you get given the fucking proof and the evidence, but even then, I didn't want to come out and say it. Go back and watch the video. I felt awkward saying it because I know what people are going to do to me. You're going to slaughter me. but I'm a giver. I like to share. Warren, thank you very much, mate. That's very kind of you. We should really go out and get both Brazilians and get a little more, mate. I would. I'd take him in a heartbeat still. I would. I'm not saying he's perfect, but if you're going to be either all defensive or all attacking, I'd rather be all attacking, to be honest. But whatever. Yeah, I'm probably a happy medium manager would be wiser. Someone, in the middle, someone who's quite good defensively and quite good attacking. I'd make do with that. Just not all fucking unbalanced like we are at the moment. Right, I'm going to go anyway. Thank you everyone who's dropped a super chat. Thanks everyone for watching. Yes, I have melted my mic. And I'm going to go, and hopefully we'll pull it out the bag tomorrow. Hopefully we'll pull it out the bag against Brighton. I have no faith in us doing that anymore. I just don't. Maybe we'll get a point, because that's all fucking Nuno's happy with. Respect the point. Well, we ain't even on a point a fucking game. Mate, at least get to a point a game before you respect the fucking point. Maybe if we were sitting on 14 points, respect the fucking point. But we got to get out of it. Anyway, I'm going to go. Speak to you all later. Come on, you ones.